All right. So, good afternoon, everyone. Mabuhay Philippines, Xin Chao, Vietnam. My name is Evan Paras, co-founder of WellNest app. I hope that all of you are having a great afternoon. It's a sunny day here in Makati City. So, good afternoon to everyone who's tuning in the different platforms that we have. We have a live telecast in Facebook, wellness page, and in various Facebook groups, and in LinkedIn, and I think in other social media platforms as well. It's such a very exciting afternoon to talk about a lot of things pertaining the youth. As Mr. Nelson Mandela once said, the youth of today are the leaders of tomorrow. And yet, when I was a younger person, I tended to not think about that and just YOLO. Uh, YOLO every day. You only live once, right? And so our objective for this afternoon is to be able to do two things, no? For the young people, for the young ones, ONES, we want to convey to you how coaching can work for you, and how coaching can really let you focus on your purpose in life and on your career as well. And for the young ones, ONCE, young ONCE, I like, maybe I'm part of that as well. The objective is how can we understand the youth better so that we can connect with them better. As parents, as HR managers, as business owners. All right. So I'd like to first introduce our speaker, our coach for this afternoon. So we've been featuring several coaches. This is actually talk number 7, and really so much insights, so many insights that we learn every single time. So our coach in focus for this afternoon graduated magna cum laude from De La Salle University with an applied corporate management degree and is a multi-awarded student leader in her university. As the youngest country marketing manager in Unilever, she has successfully grown for 8 years food brands like Knorr, Selecta, Lady's Choice, and Lipton across Southeast Asia, where she garnered several brand marketing awards locally and internationally. Wow, amazing. Passionate about purpose. This coach is recognized by De La Salle University as one of the most outstanding facilitators for the course Personal Effectiveness, where she helps graduating college students to appreciate their gifts and use them to fulfill their calling. She's one of the proponents and facilitators of Discover Your Purpose workshops in Unilever, Heineken, and Lazada, where she was able to help hundreds of her colleagues find their purpose in life. Her walk with purpose inspired her to put up Purposeful Careers, a coaching firm that helps people be true to their gifts and be confident with their career choices. She's also a resource speaker on habits, personal effectiveness, purpose, mindfulness for several organizations in the business, NGO, and government sector. She's a certified professional transformative coach of the Coach Masters Academy, the leading coaching academy in Asia, and a professional certified coach of the ICF, International Coaching Federation. She holds a full-time role as the regional lead for coaching in Lazada Southeast Asia. That's a mouthful of introduction. Amazing lady. So, friends, let's all welcome Coach Pat Mallari.
Hello,
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 Coach.
Eman, and hello everyone who's tuning
Hello,
in into the different
hello. By
platforms.
the
Thank you
way,
for
it
having me.
was Coach Pat's birthday 3 days ago. So, belated happy birthday, Coach.
Thank you so much, Eman. I love it. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you so much for agreeing for this talk. We know how busy you are, but of course, this is something that we know you're very passionate about. So we'll for this afternoon we'll talk about how to coach the youth, no, and how do we understand the youth better. But before we talk about the young people, the youth, no, we'd like first to know your story, no. So, Coach Pat, what led you to coaching, and why did you choose this path versus the other lucrative opportunities for you and the other positions that you've already held as a marketing expert, in other companies?
Yeah. I'd like to believe, Eman, that a path, more than we choose the path, or the path chooses us as well. Um, so when I
Wow.
started my working life, it was, basic. When I graduated from a business course in DLSU, the template was get into a management trainee program in a multinational company, and grow from there, rise up in the corporate ladder. But deep in my heart, I have always been passionate about inspiring, motivating people, growing people. I just really didn't know how to manifest that tangibly. And so while I was in my sales and marketing roles, I was really drawn into training people, building up people, and when I became a coaching client, because again, no, naturally became surrounded by friends who are in that people's space, like coaches, trainers, I bumped into a coaching certification program. So it was called the
Mhm.
Transformative Coaching Course. And the course description itself resonated so much with me, with who I am, and the kind of impact that I want to make with people. And it was a natural choice for me to shift lanes. It's speaking to me so very clearly, and I kind of knew by the time that um, I will regret if I don't try it out. um, and life is short, right? Life is short, and I wanted to really create a career that's not just about myself, really, and what I
Yeah.
could earn from it, no matter how lucrative it is, but ultimately, right, the people that we could help out. And I found coaching to be a platform to, I guess, make that happen. Yeah, and since then, my coaching career started in 2018. Since then, I felt like 4 years is such a short time, but I felt like so many things have happened. But yeah, I just kept on faithful with that calling, with the mission to help and transform people. And yeah, I never look back, I guess. It's really more of that impact that drawn me to it.
Yeah, I love what you said when you said the path chooses us, and it's actually very aligned with another word that you said, calling, right? So
Mm.
literally, the calling is calling us,
Yes.
in as much as we're trying to figure out. I could very much relate to
Mm.
what you're trying to say, because where I am right now, it's not actually something that I really intended to be in. Pero I mean, we were called here, and
Yes.
the purpose is to be able to respond the best way that we can. So
Yeah. And I
so
think it's the same learning I share with the young people when they ask about, so where's my calling, what's my purpose, and everything. um More than looking outside where it is, it really starts inside.
yeah,
Because we're ano kumbaga, and there's so many people and templates in the world, right, to follow and kind of benchmark, but we only have ourselves as one person who are interested in certain things and called to certain things, and there must be a reason why. And so having to, I guess, build up that trust within that calling, within themselves, is such an important skill. I believe that I wish also I knew when I was starting out my career, because I didn't.
yeah. So yeah, this is a nice segue to the next question. I don't know, Coach Pat, no, because we'll now talk about the youth, no. So as I said, no, there are two people or tuning in, no, the young people and those who are the parents, the managers of the young
Young
people,
ones.
young ones, ONCE, no. So I'd like to ask you, what are the common concerns and challenges of the youth today, uh, and how is their mindset and behavior different from the older generation? So that
Mm,
once we answer these two questions, no, we will be able to understand them better.
mm. Yeah, the youth today, because they're bombarded with so much information and choices, also, diba, brought about by the internet and social media. It's that search for truth, number one. In our Philippine language now, no, it's that fact check. Which of these really are true? Which people, which institutions should I really believe in? and ultimately that care for me and my well-being. And so I think that's one, that search for truth. The other thing that's very common is in fear of failure, fear of failing,
Mm.
failing themselves, failing their parents, failing, in whatever. And because of that, it stifles their choices, their ability to trust in that next logical step, because they are afraid of failing. Um, you know, of course, connected to that are pressures also, right?
Mm.
Pressures from parents, pressure to perform, pressure to conform. Um, and always, like, the key question I ask them is, is this mindset you have formed out of because it's something cultural, or is it something that you really, really believe benefits you, or, working for you? So I think it's more of that, because when you're young, right, you
Yeah.
have so much hope and positivity, and you're really hoping to not screw things up. Um, and so, how do you build that trust while you're young within yourself, that it's going to be okay, that giving them that safe space, just like a kid, like a child, to experiment, and give them that space to, it's okay to fail, it's okay to, um, let's say, change choices along the way. Giving that space for them is so much helpful in their sanity, in their peace of
Yeah.
mind, in their anxiety, everything.
Yeah, and I just like to add, Coach Pat, no, because I currently handle my own team in financial planning. So a lot of them are very young as well, 20s, no, 20s and
Mm,
early 30s, no. Of course, there's this pressure to be perfect,
yeah,
because of Instagram, no pores, no skin pores, no.
correct.
And TikTok, you have to be, you have to dance well and everything. So there's this great pressure to be perfect, no. But at the same time, I also see on the positive side of things that they're also more open to becoming entrepreneurs.
Yes.
Uh, because when I was a young person in my 20s, my blueprint was to be employed in a multinational company, and that was it. There
Yeah.
was no other. I mean, I did not even think 0% of
Yep.
running my own business fresh from graduation. But now I see so many people, so many fresh graduates, young millennials, doing their online shops and doing their startups and tech. So that's pretty amazing. And yeah, that's
Yeah.
something that's going well for them, no? So what
I
do you
think,
think? Yeah,
yeah,
go
I
ahead, go
think
ahead.
I think it's also influenced by the changes in the education system. Like, in my work in De La Salle University, I've noticed there are more and more courses encouraging entrepreneurship.
Mm,
Um, and even when I talk to my students when they plan out their careers, now I see also more students thinking about starting off their own business,
yeah.
and the benefits that they see. And actually, even before they graduated, they are already running their own business, which is for
Yes,
me
correct.
a very encouraging thing, because for me that feels like they are willing to experiment, and they're trusting their own capacity and
Yes.
possibilities also. So I totally agree with what you said.
Yeah. So Coach Pat, given all of these things, of course there are the terms that we don't understand anymore. The acronyms that they use. Aside from these acronyms, what are your insights or tips to business owners, HR managers, sales managers like me, who or parents of young people, on how we can understand them better, so
Mm.
that we can really help them and be able to have a genuinely good relationship with them.
Mm. That's a really, really good question, and I feel like it's really coming from a genuine place. To understand the youth, I think the first thing really is to listen to them, because often when we see the young, we see them from a lens of, oh, okay, you're inexperienced, you don't know much compared to what I know now that I'm an adult, right? But listening to their point of view, that what they think matters, what they feel matters, will go a long way in getting their trust, in building the trust with them. I think that very first thing of just listening genuinely. Second, I know this sounds so basic, but for example, as a manager, a leader, modeling is so important to them.
Mm,
If you're expecting them, for example, to show up at a certain time at work, you gotta be there also and model it for them.
yeah,
Again, no, like what I said, these people, Gen Zs, even millennials, are in search for truth, and the truth is not just in online world, right? They want to see it in reality, in their day-to-day lives, in their very interactions, let's say at the workplace. So I really see young people now really drawn to people
yeah,
who do what they say,
yeah,
and they model the expectation. I think that goes a long way in building the trust with them, aside from yun nga, listening and really genuinely caring for them.
yeah. And actually, these are, especially the first one, no, yung listening. I fully agree with you because again, when I was younger, Gen X ako Gen X. Parang
Mm,
ano, Xennial, no? So, I'm in the
the
middle
in
of the
between.
millennial and the Gen X, no? So, when I was young, I did not expect to be listened to because I just wanted to follow instructions and everything just to be able to do my job as an employee, no? But what I realized in talking to the young people right now is that, they want to be heard as well. And that's why and they want to collaborate, they want to
Mm,
feel that they are contributing to something beyond themselves.
correct.
And another thing that's very significant, a significant factor among youth right now is that a lot of them, majority of them, are not primarily driven by money.
Mm,
When I interview the youth, the money, the income would come in last or second to the last.
mm,
The number one thing would be like they would the job that they would have should have a purpose that is significant to them. It's about helping others. It's about having a good team, having a good boss, and everything. And then money would be be the last. So
yeah,
that's why it's very essential to have a coaching culture, no, and coaching culture in young organizations. It's a culture
definitely.
wherein you don't dictate, you're not authoritative, but you really listen to their inputs and really involve them in making decisions. No,
Definitely.
yeah,
I
which
think
which
it's
bring
also I think it's
yeah,
also influenced with the information they see online, right? Especially with in the western side of the world, where it's really more liberated in a sense culturally.
mm,
Young being heard, that my voice counts in decision making. That is influenced so much with what they see. I'd like to just point out yung need for the income and the salary. It's not that it's not important to them. Um, I think they've learned, based again from these information, that money follows wherever you go. You could earn it, but they
yeah,
know that it's not ultimately going to make or break. But again, I'd also like to be grounded by the fact that there are different young people. There are those who
yeah,
are right after graduation are forced to become breadwinners. And
correct,
so
yes,
their basis for getting jobs is the salary, no matter what the job is.
yeah.
So I think it really is really also case to case basis, which I wanted to ground also even my students in the university when they talk to me about, what criteria should I have when I get a job, so that I make sure that they don't take advantage of me, 'di ba? Kasi yun rin who determines that based on your needs.
Yeah. Thank you. No, so that's also a great reminder. No, in as much as we're trying to identify, common characteristics of, the youth and different generations. No, it's also very important to avoid too much generalization or too much bias. No,
Yeah.
Gen Z to, so ganito siya, no? Entitled and
Oo.
everything. That's the term, di ba?
Yes.
So very important to really listen and to have really a unique relationship with each young member of your team or of your family, no?
Mm.
So, by the way, guys, if you have any questions in any of our platforms, please feel free to post your question, or if you want to just post whatever key takeaway that you have right now, please do so in the comment section, and we will try to read them through the StreamYard. So, which brings me to the next question, ano, Coach Pat, no? As I said, no, the youth now uh, appreciate more of the listening or the coaching culture, no? And uh, how can coaching help the youth in finding and fulfilling their life purpose, based on your experience?
Yeah. Very, very helpful. Um, you know, I aside from youth themselves reaching out to me, I encounter a lot of parents reaching out to me also. Um,
Mm.
to coach their children, the youth, and whatever age that is. And it's because the youth feels uncomfortable talking about these things with their parents, for example, because their parents don't understand it. It feels like, oh my gosh, na generalize na, oh, my son or my daughter is depressed or having this crisis. Like, I just want to get it fixed. There's just so much, of course, emotional investment with the child, right? And so what happens is the coach really intervenes in that scenario. The parent gets some help, and what the coach gives to that young person is that safe space. That I'm not your parent. I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm here to listen to you. Why this bugs you a lot. When you say purpose, why do you want that? Do you even want that to begin with? When you say direction, what does that look like for you? What is making sense to you today that's important to you? um, and just giving that space for them, allowing them that, oh, I can open up these thoughts to you, is such a relief for them already. Again, that safe space to allow them to be and to experiment is such a genuine and very welcomed spirit energy with the youth. Because of course, when they talk to parents, they feel the pressure na, shucks, I need to figure it out because I need to give back to my parents, no? Or I don't want
Yeah,
to be seen as
a big
like
gap.
I don't have a direction and they will just nag me to death, right? There's that pressure. But when you're with a coach, you're not forced to be somebody. Um, I guess that's what it gives, no? You're not forced to be somebody. You can be who you are. Let's talk about it. And get into your most authentic self right here, right now.
Yeah. No. So just by creating that safe space, no, and well, I'm also doing some coaching, not part of ICF yet, but coaching is all about asking questions, and it
Mm.
basically presumes that the coachee already has the answers
Yes.
within, and it's just about unearthing the answers from
Correct.
from
Correct.
from himself or herself.
Yeah.
So, Coach Pat, kanina, a while ago, you talked about this term transformative coaching, and we've been hearing that a lot, no? But even as we've been hearing it a lot, we don't know what it means.
Mm.
Majority of the people don't know what it means. So, can you give us an idea, Coach Pat, of what transformative coaching is all about?
Okay, sure. Coaching is such a huge space kasi there's so many types of coaching. Transformative coaching is an inside out generative kind of approach wherein again that belief that the answer comes from the client, comes from the coachee, that they have the capacity, that capability to figure out, and also in a sustainable way. So it's more of a learning conversation. It embraces the awareness, clarity, choice approach. It's a proprietary approach as well by the Coach Masters Academy. Um, what that does to the client is to heighten their awareness about themselves, what's happening within,
Yeah.
what is happening in the moment. Just to really, if you're watching Netflix, if sanay ka to watch, series 2 times, we're making it like 0.5 times in a coaching conversation, so that you have more awareness of, oh, this, okay, this is why I'm reacting this way, this is what I'm really feeling, and just be present, in their situation and in their experience. And from there, in putting spotlights, right, in those different parts of themselves, they get some sense of clarity of, okay, with my dilemma, with what I'm bugged with, this is what's making sense of me, for me. It's not about forcing answers from the client, but allowing them to step back and get more in a reflective space, to figure out. And of course, the choice part, wherein, the typical question there is, what is the learning that you're getting from this conversation, and what are the next steps you're thinking about? What values stood out as important for you here? So it's such a enriching conversation, transformative coaching, because it's a learning conversation, and it touches on their values, and it's such an empowering conversation again, because it gives them that feeling that, okay, I have it within me. I was looking so far about,
Hmm.
what direction in my career, for example, in my practice as a coach. But more often in the exercises, they will discover that, oh, I have it already. I have the capacity to figure out my career. They just need that space and assurance from a coach, coincidentally, that, okay, it's okay to move this way and experiment, and see things from there. Yeah. So long answer to a short question, because there's so much, I guess, awareness and, enriching experience in a transformative coaching conversation.
Yeah. So what I get is ano no yung the transformative coaching is really a person based coaching is like really
Yeah.
really a deep dive into the values, the behavior of a person, and not just coaching for a certain objective.
Yeah.
It's a person based and not objective based.
Yeah. The
Uh,
opposite of that transformative coaching list, like what, the example you're saying, is transactional coaching. And
yeah,
you
yeah,
have an objective, let's say at the office, right, or at
yeah,
work. This is where I want to go.
yeah. Nice, nice, very interesting. So we have Shello here. Writing something. I'm a mother of a 14-year-old teenager, and based on my experiences, I think it is also important to coach the parent and not just the child alone. This would be a great teamwork for their journey to be a mature adult. Yeah, correct.
Spot on.
100% agree, Shelo, no? Because we don't have a parent manual for how to be good parents. We don't have that.
Yes.
Uh, so yeah, it's also good to be coached by someone, no? And that's why actually, uh, Coach Pat, no, that's exactly why we came up with WellNest so that it becomes a safe community for everyone. It may be parents, it may be the teenagers, it may be young professionals, business owners, people suffering from trauma, addiction, and everything. To be able to really talk to someone, have that availability, 24/7 availability, wherein you can talk to a mental health specialist or a coach about what you're going through. We started this last year, just last year, and we're very very happy because the app has already developed so much, and we're looking forward to. Right now, we have I think 400 users already, and hopefully we can have a couple of corporate accounts to really boost our user experience. So, guys, if you have not yet downloaded Wellness, please do so. Of course, our guest here, Coach Pat, is one of our coaches there, one of
Yeah.
our very very active coaches there. You can see her services there. So please do download it through there's a QR code here. So it's just being covered by the question. Anyway, so Coach Pat, we're very interested to know about your personal experiences. No, of course, uh, being a coach means also having this very very deep sense of satisfaction and fulfillment in helping others or guiding others towards self-discovery, finding their purpose and success. Can you tell us about one, story among your coaches, of course, without telling us the names and the details, the story of how you were able to help someone become a better person or find his purpose or achieve the success that he wanted.
Yeah, I think one of my memorable clients is this OFW, um, based in the States. 20 years ago, she had a very flourishing teaching career here in the Philippines. And when she got remarried and went to the US, she stayed at home and raised a family. And now parang she has that time and motivation to get back into her career. She didn't know where to start,
Mm,
and it was difficult. She was trying so many ways to kick off herself, right, in her career, to go back to teaching, etc. And now she's an owner of a very flourishing real estate brokerage business in the US. And she's that's what she's
wow.
doing now. And I'm so happy for her because she had that renewed confidence in herself, in what she could do. Of course, and then after I ended up coaching her husband also, and her kids. But for me, that was very fulfilling because she found that increased confidence was really something for me. And that new energy she got, she was able to share with her family members. So it was a really a ripple effect. I mean, imagine for their coaches who are watching also. I think that's the magic of what we do in coaching, that you might coach one person, but the transformation that happens to them also gets a ripple effect with their
Yes, yes.
families and friends. And that's for me magic.
Wow. So I assume right now you don't coach her anymore because she's already okay, or do you still coach her?
She just updates me like from time to time what's happening, and how the husband has shifted lanes also, in a way,
Wow.
them just being more, I think, woke about their life purpose. um it's that relationship that I get from them. And there are other stories, but for me this is special because um her difference in how she shows up, um and even with the family members, it's very fulfilling, like to impact a family, and not
Yes, yes,
just
yes.
one person, in a way.
Correct. Nice, nice, no. So, uh, very ano talaga, no? Very sobrang fulfilling ng pagiging coach na. I can feel it in your story, no. So, actually yun nga, no, in coaching, the objective is to make the coachee not need you anymore. So,
Mm-mm.
during the time na that he's already okay, no. So, that's the objective, no.
Mm.
It's not unlike ano, 'di ba, sa therapy or counseling, uh, parang you just parang kung ano yung need niya, basically that's what you give. And some
Yeah.
therapy lasts for 2 years or even
Mm.
10 years for some, no. But for
Yeah.
coaching, no, it's important to have this ano, freedom na okay, okay ka na, no.
Mm-mm. I
And
think.
ano,
Hmm.
sorry, go ahead, ano.
I think there's also difference kasi with counseling and therapy and coaching in terms of an intervention. There are
Mm-mm.
those people who would need, say, counseling and therapy for specific reasons, and um, coaching really, I believe, are for those people who are ready to move forward. I often ask my
Mm,
clients who would come in for a discovery
yeah.
call, are you ready to make that change? Any change that might come up to get to your objective.
Mm-mm.
Because if you're not ready to make those changes, to outgrow probably yourself, then you are not ready for coaching yet. And so I don't force, for example, that potential
Oh,
client. So
yeah.
again, case to case basis also, of who needs counseling or therapy for a specific reason. And
Mm-mm.
those who are like, okay, I want to move forward now,
Yeah.
and I'm ready to make that changes, then that's where coaching comes in very powerfully.
So sometimes coach you ano parang you say to your potential coachee na I don't think you're ready, baka counseling is the solution for you. Sometimes you say that to your ano to your
Yeah,
coachee.
I've experienced that quite a lot of time because I don't want also them to be frustrated, right, at the end of the coaching service or coaching program that I didn't get what I need. When ultimately, based from their story and of what they need, they want, kind of a rescuer or a partner in order to
Mm,
carry with them. And again, for certain reasons, and so I go straight up and become honest also with the client, because that a lot of the coaching partnership is, yes, I come into you as a coach and help you out, but also as a client you're doing a lot of work also,
yeah,
outgrowing yourself, getting
correct.
ready to become vulnerable.
Yeah.
Are you ready to get uncomfortable, 'di ba? To face or act on certain
Hmm.
matters, to get where you want to be. And I cannot do that for you, right? As your
Correct.
coach,
Yes.
you're the one who's gonna do that. So that readiness is so so important.
Yeah. It's a two-way street. Actually, they're the ones who will really work. It's just us asking the right questions, but ultimately the answers and the solutions will come from them because of
Exactly.
coaching. No? Yeah.
Exactly.
So ano, Coach Pat, we are down to the final question for this
Mm.
afternoon. And this is a very, very interesting question. We usually ask this among the past coaches, no? We want to, of course, no, in this talk, it's a short talk, and we want to get the most out of it. No, so can you tell us what your top three lessons uh, that you have learned so far as a coach?
Wow, thank you for that wonderful question.
They wave after, ah.
Yeah, I know. I love the question because I'm also learning, no, from this question itself. I think the first one as a coach, always do a heart check. Always do a heart check with what you do,
Oh.
with every conversation. Um, are you doing this out of because you want it? Is it for you? Is it for your ego? Or is it for the service of your client? Um, I think that heart check every day is so important because no matter what the outcome is, when the intention is genuine, and the intention is clear, um, you know, that's where the magic of you as a coach really happens. The second is quite connected, which is, your client, this principle, I always, you know, remember this. I've never forget this from my training, that as you grow, your client grows. Grow
Hmm.
as a coach, your client grows.
As
And I'm
you
not
grow,
saying,
I'm writing this down actually.
yeah, yeah,
As
yeah.
you grow, your client grows.
And I'm not speaking just on a, sales basis to grow your
Yeah.
client base kind, but more of you, your values as a person, your experiences, you outgrowing yourself, I guess, and you discovering parts of yourself, vulnerabilities and all. When you get access to these things, you have more awareness of that for yourself. You get to share that energy with your client also. So I think not stopping learning as a person, as a coach, very, very important. Like me, I'm always on the lookout for new techniques in coaching, new values, new coaching methodologies that resonate with me. Again, it's not because, a methodology is popular
Yeah.
right now, but again, no, that I'll go back to what I said at the very beginning. Does that path also choose you? Is it resonating with me? And maybe the older that I get, the more that I become more choiceful with what, in for example, coaching methodologies I embrace also. Um, so yeah, that's the second thing. Your client grows as you grow. The third one, it might sound a bit spiritual, but I really hold this dear to my heart that usually in a coaching conversation via Zoom or even face to face, you're just the two people talking. But give the third seat to the Lord. Um, give that
Oh,
third,
that's nice.
I don't know, third seat kung nasa coffee shop kayo or may isa pang Zoom, Zoom box to the Lord. Because, ultimately at the end of any conversation, there are things that we don't see that He's working on. There are many things also that are still out of our control. And I believe that he's the one who's in control with those uncontrollables. Whatever things that we want our client hopefully to realize, we got to learn to let go of those things. And for me, that is something I hold really dearly, like to the point that every day, every before conversation, I would always pray, Lord, be the one to speak to my client, override my preparation, because I can only do so much. But ultimately, at the end of the day, what happens afterward, it's in your hands. So it might, again, no, sound spiritual, but for me, those are the top three. Always do a heart check. Your client grows as you grow, and give the third seat to the Lord.
Very, very powerful, Coach Pat. No, and actually, the things that you said, I believe are not just applicable in coaching. They're applicable in life in general. Like always, do a hard check. Whatever you're doing, you may be a coach or maybe a businessman or an employee. Very important for you to it's very serendipitous because that's what I was talking in my previous meeting before I we went
Oh,
live. Yeah, it's a first quarter pit stop. So do a heart check, do a mind check, do an energy check, and a time check. So very aligned with what you said. Because if you don't have the heart for something, it's going to show, and
it
it's
is.
not it's really not going to you're not going to be at your best or at your optimal if you don't have the heart for what you're trying to
Correct.
do. Yeah, and that's very also very important for you to do a heart check, that to really determine if this is for yourself, for your ego, or is it really for the other person that you're trying to help, right?
Yes.
And the second one is, as you grow, your clients grow, and I'd like to add, it's a circle, it's a cycle. As you grow, your clients grow, and as your client grows, you grow as well. It's a
Correct. Yeah,
cycle.
that's right.
Yes.
Yeah, there are many
uh,
moments I get inspired by my clients as well.
yes, correct. Because when you go for personal development, and then you expand your client base, or maybe your client benefits from your personal development, he grows as well. And when you have a good relationship with each other, and you can learn from that person, or
Yeah.
that person can lead you to other people, which will help you grow as well. So yeah. And then the third, I fully agree, give the third slot to the Lord, because at the end of the day, He's the one who put you together in that coaching session. There's always a reason for everything.
Super.
Nothing is an accident, and so give the third seat to the person who made it happen in the first place. Yeah, so fully agree. Amazing conversation with you, Coach Pat. And it's just been just 40 minutes, but we've tackled so many things in the span of 40 minutes. At this point, Coach Pat, would you like to tell the people about things that you're working on? Where can they contact you?
Yeah.
How can they book you for an
Um,
appointment
yeah.
for coaching?
Eman, Shadow says that we have another comment though from the WellNest
Oh,
page. Maybe
oh.
we could
Where is it?
respond.
We have another comment on the wellness page. We cannot see the comment
We
on
cannot
the
see the
wellness
comment.
because we're in StreamYard. If you can, Shallow, please do type it here. Uh, but as we are hearing from Coach Pat, how people can contact her. connect with her, or how can they book a coaching session with Coach Pat?
Sure. Of course, you could find me in the WellNest app. I'm available there for coaching sessions. My services are there also, but you can head on to www.purposefulcareers.co. You can check out my programs there. I'm also that same handle, Purposeful Careers, is in Facebook and Instagram as well.
Mm,
You can find me in LinkedIn, Pat Mallari. Drop me a message, if there's something that clicked for you, resonated for you from this conversation, and you wanted to discover what that purposeful career could look like for you. I'd happy to walk with you with it. Ayan, Shelo responded, sabi ni Mary Grace Eugenio, I'm not that spiritual, but I love that. Give the third seat to the Lord.
yeah.
That's great. Thanks, Grace.
Yes. So, so, so,
Yeah,
Coach- so, Coach Pat, you also do, like, trainings, training seminars like that. You also do that. So
yeah. So
yung personal effectiveness is like a training of yours.
yeah, so that's a course that I teach in De La Salle.
Okay.
But I have my own workshop that I conduct, which is the Discover Your Purpose workshop. Which I really really love. I've been doing it for like 5 years now. For teams, for small teams, around like 10 to 20, and in a team, wherein individually we articulate your personal mission, your personal purpose, and then collectively as a team create your team purpose. So it's a good.
Mm.
I realized that it was incidentally na lang. I realized when I did it in corporate that it was a good getting to know activity within the team to know themselves beyond their job titles, and also re-energize the team to a certain purpose beyond just accomplishing the KPI. That's why I love the topic always of purpose, both on a personal basis and in a team or corporate basis. Then aside from that, I conduct talks for certain companies
Mm.
on an invitational basis, on mindfulness, on
Yeah.
habits, on purpose, in career development. Yeah.
Nice. Very very exciting yung mga topics ni Coach Pat, no. And definitely something that we all need, no. Especially in this very fast changing landscape,
Mm,
'di ba? Ngayon naman parang yung the concern is how to go back to the physical, so
yeah.
I'm sure there are many people having the anxiety naman of because
Super.
for 2 years we've stayed at home, and now parang okay, we're back in the office.
Mm,
I'm sure there are
mm.
anxiety related their concerns there. So yeah,
And
our
I think
coaches and
that's a good cue for us coaches, right, Eman?
yeah.
Because people will always be in transition of in something, whether that's in life or in their career, or in health or in different aspects. And those transitions, that's where the coaches come in, so that make sure
Mm,
that transition in honor again, no, of your values, that you don't change just for the sake of change, but
yeah,
stay grounded with your values. Be confident also in entering in that new chapter, whatever that is.
yeah,
Um, that's why purpose is such an important value for me, because
yes,
it roots you as a person, no matter the directions or
mm,
change that you might
yeah,
go. Yeah,
yeah.
good point.
And while you're saying that, I don't know, Coach Pat, I remember this information. There is a 1 to 3 trillion chance that you are alive right now. There's a 1 to 3 trillion. Kasi yung 3 trillion, your great 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 grandparents had to be alive. They would not have been killed in wars or famine or whatever sickness. And then your mother and father would have met. They would have been in the same place and everything. So 1 is to 3 trillion chance that you're alive, and it's impossible for us to be alive and not have a purpose, because the chance is only 1 is to 3 trillion, 3 trillion possibilities, no.
Yeah.
So yun, thank you, Coach Pat, for reminding us that purpose is something that we should strive for, whether we are young or not so young
Mhm.
anymore. So just to summarize all of the things that we learned this afternoon, ang dami, no? And I don't know, that number one is the path chooses us. I love that, Coach Pat.
Mhm.
It's not just about going for your strengths and everything, being very scientific about your purpose. You also have to be aware of where the higher spirit, God, is leading us. So in terms of the youth, their main concern is the search for truth, fear of failure, and we can also put in there the pressure of social media,
Yeah.
and the adventure of being in business. So the best thing to do with the youth is to listen very well, not dictate but listen, and do modeling. Do what you say what you do, and have a coaching culture in your organization. Uh, and the top three lessons: always do a heart check as you grow. As you grow, your clients grow, and vice versa. And give the third seat to the Lord. Wow,
Yeah.
amazing conversation, Coach Pat.
Yeah, indeed.
Yes, and this can be replayed. If you have friends who you think can benefit from this conversation, please do share with them through our wellness page, and please do find time to tell your friends and family about wellness app, and please download it as well in Google Play and Apple Store. So really, our objective is to be able to be that light for people, especially those who are experiencing a lot of challenges in this very uh, volatile environment, and we hope that you join us in this movement for wellness. So with that, Coach Pat, many thanks
Thank
for
you.
this. And for our fellow Filipinos, we just like to say, please vote wisely. Let's pray for the best. Let's vote for the best candidates. Uh, let's avoid false information, and
Yeah.
let's
Fact
get
check, reality
information
check.
incredible. Yeah, I always do fact checking, right? When I see a poster, I go to the original article and check it out. So guys, this is a very crucial election. We're not going to tell who our candidate is, but we have the same candidate. But the best thing is to be able to really discern and think about the future, not only of ourselves but the future of our children and grandchildren.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think remember or no, one of the things we said was modeling. Who is modeling the values that we want for the future?
Yes, correct. So if you can really say to yourself that this candidate is modeling the kind of values and behavior that I want for myself and my family, then you'll be at peace voting for that person. Okay. So super thanks everyone. Super thanks Coach Pat for
Thank you,
this
Eman.
very valuable conversation. And see you very soon. We'll have our face to face meeting very soon. We'll announce it.
Yay! Excited
Yes.
for that. Thank you, Eman. Thank you, Wellness Team. Thank you, Shelo.
God bless everyone.
Thanks,
Bye.
everyone. Happy weekend.